would call it swag, some call it cockiness, some would call it being a diva. But when you're good, it's not bragging. An elite wide receivers and the confidence they exude often permeates an entire team. And we're going to see a couple of examples of that in this one. Welcome to College Park, Maryland, SECU Stadium, better known as the Snake Pit and home of the Terps. As we'll see, a playoff team from last year, the UCLA Bruins, taking on one of the top 5 teams in the conference, the Maryland Terrapins. For EA Sports College Football, I'm Reese Davis, joined here in the booth, as always, by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. The Terrapins will get us underway with the opening kickoff. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was looking for more running room, but none to be found as he stopped at the 23. They'll run it out of the shotgun. Oh, he's got some space. They'll mark him out of bounds short of the 40 at the 37-yard line, but a big-time pickup on the ground. They've got it at the 37. It's 1st and 10. Use the play fake, now to throw. Works the middle. And a good job of coverage by that defense, just a short pickup. Guys, let's talk a little UCLA. Top 5 up to this point is really good. It's staying there as we get closer to the playoff that becomes a huge challenge.
They just need to focus on winning right now. They're in position as a top 5 team to reach the college football playoff, but you've got to keep winning, and that's got to be the mindset. And coming into today, they have to bring their A game to the field.
And we're still in the middle of the season, so there's so many ways to still make a good impression for this squad, and we still have conference championships for some. We have great matchups that will decide, just like we've seen in past years, right? It comes down the stretch, who's playing the best.
Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender.
Man, a nice second effort by the back to break a tackle, but how about those defensive backs willing to come up, stick their face in the fan, and make a tackle?
Those are the best run defenses, too, right? It's not just D linemen and linebackers getting all the plays, but it's DBs that are willing to not just cover, but tackle backs in the open field.
The Bruins kept this drive moving on the ground, now back to work. Oh, and they'll try to catch him with a pass. Just missed on the connection, incomplete.
Yeah, I don't know if the quarterback got confused on 1st down. He might have thought the defense was going to be in man coverage that time, but they were in zone. They fooled him and just didn't seem like he had his eyes in the right place, was forcing that ball to his intended target. The window way too small. The guy was not open, so that didn't have that chance to be complete.
Pass the sticks and still on his feet. All kinds of room to the right. And he ran away from the crowd, and he'll take it in. Touchdown, Bruins!
And this defense really wanted to come out and set the tone and be physical, but the offense did that. They took control. They owned the line of scrimmage. They create the big explosive run on the first drive to really set the tone in this football game.
Setting up for the extra point after the first score of the game. And with the extra point, they get the first 7 of the game. So it's a 77-yard touchdown drive. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. No chance to return that one. A booming kickoff out of the back of the end zone. It's a touchback. Pulls it, fired, complete. Still on his feet at the 45. A huge play, and they get it all the way to the 45-yard line.
Get the big-time receiver involved early in the game. That's a huge key for this offense, no matter who they're playing against. But you can see, with his size, with his ability after the catch, this guy is a weapon, and he's putting this defense on alert early.
And I think they'll give him 2 on that one, 2nd and 8 coming up.
Run game is good. Balance is good. Now listen, if the run game isn't good, then you got to pass the football a little bit more. But sometimes you got to keep them honest, take them chunk by chunk.
Back to throw, it's Washington. It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. Bringing it back. He's at the 40. He's at the 20. Touchdown, UCLA! The defense does the work itself with a pick 6.
And the defense sets the tone early in this football game. We're still in the first quarter, and this is looking like they're putting a complete game together. Offense scoring, defense scoring. Palmer, they're up 2 touchdowns already.
Yeah, you got to give this coaching staff credit. They have their guys ready to go, and this is what you call firing on all cylinders early in the game.
They're coming out to tee it up for the kickoff, and that last score was a real buzzkill for this crowd. No chance for a return as that ball flies out of the back of the end zone. Maryland has the ball back, and the Terrapin offense ready to go. They haven't exactly burst out of the starting blocks, and they need to get something together with this possession. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. And the Terrapins trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. To the air on 2nd down. That's caught. It's pulled. Makes the grab almost to the 1st down marker, but a good pickup on that one. The Terrapins come to the line on 3rd and short, trying to convert here. On 3rd and short, they'll ride the running back here. Doesn't quite make it to the 1st down marker. He's a yard short. The punt team makes its way onto the field. They'll boot it away for the first time tonight. Puts a boot to it. Didn't see a lot of him in that loss last week. Only called on twice. Tries to find a little more running room on that return, but he'll be stopped at the 36. The UCLA offense is back on the field, ready to go to work. They put 2 touchdowns on the board in the early going, and now right back to work. This defensive front just ran free in the backfield. He'll lose 3.
They're trying to run the football. There's just nowhere to go for the ball carrier inside. He tried to bounce it to the outside. That linebacker way too fast. He met him there and forced the TFL.
To the air, it's Nelson. Takes the easy throw in the flat. He's brought down, but he went backwards after that completion, not the way they had it drawn up.
I like the play call on offense. I like you trying to get the running back involved in the pass game, too. Defense was ready for that one. Let's see what you've got dialed up on 3rd.
On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's 4th down. And the Bruins will send out the punt unit. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. And he's going to get it up to about the 29-yard line before he's brought down. Let's see what they have dialed up as this drive starts from the 29-yard line. Leaves it with the back. Just working and poking and prodding and finding his way up to the 36.
Offenses, when they run these RPOs, they just want to be comfortable. The quarterback wants to make the read very easy, very clean. It's your job as a defense to kind of create some confusion, speed up that process any way you can.
Good pick up there as he gets the 1st down, and they'll mark him at the 48. New set of downs after the completion.
Well, they pick up the 1st down there on the screen. I love the offensive line there, allowing the pass rush to get way up the field. They completely baited their guys, made them think that they got beaten, that they were going to get the sack, and then they sneak the running back screen right in behind them and pick up the 1st.
Takes a handoff. It's Robinson. He has the 1st and still on his feet. And the defense finally makes the stop after the sweet run and good gain. And the Terrapins look to keep this drive humming. To the ground. He's got it again. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
It's hard to run on a defense that comes off the ball like that and runs to the football like that. Good luck. No holes anywhere.
Looking downfield. It's Washington. Under fire. And that pass will be jarred loose on second down. That brings up third down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. It'll be third and long. Gets the back moving. They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Throws to the wideout. Intercepted. A first-half turnover can swing momentum. And he's wrapped up after a solid return on the pick.
Nothing going right for this team early in the first quarter here. The defense is getting gashed, and now you've thrown a pick. The head coach has got to get his team together and get everybody to calm down and settle in.
And this defense, they've got to do a big job here. Like, offense puts you in a bad spot. You haven't had some great moments, but this possession, we got to get a stop, got to stop the bleeding, and get the ball back to our offense.
Decent field position to start this drive from their own 33. From the gun, the ground game. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7.
And the defense doing a great job committing to the run. When you commit to the run like this, obviously you can give up some plays in the passing game, but you got to stop the run first.
They'll toss it to the left. They'll make the stop behind the line of scrimmage, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. That's the end of the quarter, and UCLA has the lead. And they were able to build that lead into double figures. Let's take a quick look at our early stats before we move on. Now to see if they can answer this early blitz here in the second quarter. So they go back to work after the break, and it is third down. Looking to pass. It's Nelson. Going for it all. Holds it in on the left. Major gaps in that defense, and he got loose, and they finally knock him down at the 41. The Bruins have it with a 1st and 10. Looking to throw on first down. Caught in the backfield. It's Lockett. The defense wouldn't let him loose there, and it was a completion, but they lost yardage.
I mean, getting suffocated right away. How about the DB? Just seeing that initially, pulling the trigger, getting to him, get him on the ground, get the tackle for him less.
Wants to fire on second down. Unloads to the wideout. Working the middle. Right down the gut of the field. Touchdown, Bruins. He got a step and just dusted the field. They've extended the lead and taken control here in Week 9.
Man, I've been really impressed with this offense this first half. Coming in a hostile environment, hostile crowd. Man, they haven't given them anything to cheer about. Offense, defense, now up 20-0, and these people are eerily quiet in here.
Kickoff unit back to work, and they have been busy as they've built this sizable lead. Fielded in the end zone. It's Manning. Gets it across the 30 to the 31. Nice pickup on the return there. We thought we might see some of this. They'll go to the Wildcat formation here. Sends it back in motion. On the snap, it's Jacobs. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Well, will they dial up on 2nd and 8? A long way to go. Back to pass. It's Washington. Makes the catch. Turning it on. Good pickup there as he gets the first down, and they'll mark him at the 48.
When you run your slant route and it's against man-to-man, one thing you know you're going to get is hit. When that wide receiver catches the football, slants don't open up wide open. Linebackers are going to be there, safeties are going to be there, so you got to be able to take that hit and hold on to that football.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play.
That is a great play by the defensive end. The most athletic players on the field play defensive end. Yes, you heard me, Jess, Reese. Exactly what I said. Great get off. Great job getting in the backfield, making the play.
Got it behind the line. It's Jacobs. He makes the stop almost as soon as he catches it, and they're short of the first down.
It's hard to have success on wide receiver screens when you're facing press man coverage because your blockers out front oftentimes can't pick them up, and that receiver gets gobbled up as soon.
Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover.
This is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
UCLA will go back to work on offense. That last drive, an absolute aerial assault for the touchdown, Jesse.
And it was a nice job in play calling, too, David, just giving the quarterback.
He's loose on the right. Run out of bounds at about the 13-yard line, and that's where this offense will go back to work.
One of the things I love about this offense, Reese, is they have tons of speed. They like to try to get the ball going east-west. That time they generate a huge play going to the right side.
And the defense either not fast enough to fit or got knocked out of the fit.
Yeah, they got to do a better job containing that as this game goes on. They got to funnel the football back to the middle of the field.
2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Using his legs, it's Cox. He's tackled right at the 10-yard line, and they're trying to cash in on this drive.
3rd down coming.
Really need to pick up this conversion and avoid having to settle for the field goal. Quarterback will keep it. Touchdown, UCLA! And they take it in for 6 more points.
I think there were a lot of doubters that wondered how this team was going to be able to handle this environment and whether or not they could find success early in this game. They have proved all of those doubters wrong. They have been dominant in every phase, on offense, on defense, and on special teams, and they are piling it on here early in this game on the road.
The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. Fielded in the end zone, it's Manning. Stopped at the 17, and he's probably second-guessing that return. They've got a little time here to put together a productive drive late in the half. Back in motion, try to clear the picture. Looking to throw, it's Washington. Fires to the tight end. Breaks into the open. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34. 1st and 10. Wants to throw on 1st down. Quickly to the tight end. And that had all the makings of bug meat windshield, but how about the little corner taking on the big tight end and keeping him from getting the first? Here comes the offense on second down. From the gun, running back on the move. This junior making his presence felt and making the stop after a short gain. The Terrapins come to the line on third and short, looking to keep the drive moving.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They'll get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Looking to throw on first down. He put some heat on that one down the middle. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Wants to go up top. Caught over the middle. It's Manning. Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a first down at the 31. And the Terrapins come to the line with a fresh set of downs. Back to the ground game on the left.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground. Take away that run game. Make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on second down. Fires to the big fella. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a first down.
Well, I know the tight end did some good things after the catch, but got to give the quarterback credit to the location of the throw. Because he put it out in front of his big man, he was able to make the catch and accelerate, creating some distance there between him and the defense.
Safe completion on the screen. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. Looking for space, it's Robinson. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield.
Let's see if this offense can answer the bell. Their coaches challenged them all week long. When they got down to the red zone, we've got to be able to run the football because we're going up against a top 10 rushing defense. Let's see if they can step up here and get it done.
He took a hit as he threw it and couldn't deliver the football. It's incomplete and fourth down's coming. They'll try to salvage a field goal on this drive. Dead center perfect.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but, man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
He'll bring it out. It's Matthews. That gamble did not pay off as they bring him down at the 12-yard line. We'll see them really hit the speed button on the tempo here in the final minute of the first half. Looking for a man. It's Nelson. Quickly out to the tight end. And this one will be stopped for no gain.
I like the idea by the quarterback there. You're trying to get this first down, so you find the tight end, see if he can make a guy miss or shake a tackle. Not able to get it done though.
Just a short pass to the tight end. And that corner came in hot despite knowing that he was giving up some size. We got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. From the gun on third down. Looking left. And they dialed up a shot play, but they couldn't make the connection.
Defense did a great job. Third and short on the opponent's side of the field. They're expecting quick throw. Everybody, they dug their heel on the ground. They're able to break on the ball, force the incompletion.
Looks it all the way in, and now turns his attention upfield. Returns like that are why you don't settle for the fair catch if you don't have to. Picks up just a little bit of yards to help out the O. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. To the air on first down. Fires to the wideout. And the incomplete pass was just too hot to handle.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
Looking to the big tight end. He can't find his man, and the clock stops with 6 seconds left.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. And the critical down and distances in this game, like that third down right there, when it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You got to be able to make that play.
On 4th down, they'll pass for it. Hit as he throws. That ball never had a chance, and they'll turn it over on downs.
And this offense chooses to be aggressive. Listen, once you start getting to midfield, you see most offenses be aggressive, and they took their chance, and they failed. Now, early in the game, a chance to create momentum to swing back to the other side of the football field.
Oh, he's going to try to hit him deep. Incomplete. He took a shot on the final play of the quarter and couldn't quite find his man. That's the end of the second quarter. That means it's time to join Kevin in our halftime update. And the Bruins will boot away to start the second half. Not going to get a return here. They'll bring it out to the 25 as the kickoff sails through the back of the end zone. Here comes the Maryland offense back onto the field. Huge deficit to start this third quarter. They just need to find something to build a little confidence. He's into the open down the middle. Inside the 30. What a play to get it inside the red zone, and they are set up at the 17.
Love the individual effort by the wide receiver after the catch, making people miss, showing you the speed. Now he set up his offense down in the red zone.
They'll send the back in motion. From the red zone, he's going to throw it. Gets down with the slide.
You see a lot of quarterbacks get in trouble when they start forcing things. He did a really good job. He wanted to throw the football. You could tell. Drops back, nothing open. It's okay. I'm just going to take off and get what I can get.
From the gun to give, looking for room. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
Offense trying to go RPO, but how about the defense? Up front, their front seven, they had dudes winning, just being way more physical and able to get to that running back.
Scanning the field, it's Washington. And the third down pass is incomplete.
Well, on 3rd and short and field goal range, they dial up the pass play. Quarterback was trying to get through his progressions. There was just simply nobody open. Couldn't make an accurate enough throw. Ball falls incomplete. Now setting up a big decision here on 4th down.
On 4th down, looking to pass. And he throws another interception, his 3rd of the night. And they'll drag him down after a good return on the interception.
And the defender makes a great read, breaks on the football, and makes the big interception in the back end. And here's the thing, that's number 4 this season, so he's finding the football consistently.
The UCLA offense is back on the field, ready to go to work. Power football with the run. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. Fires to the big fella. This guy runs with some attitude, discarding tacklers, and works his way to the 19. Now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Throws to the wideout. Can't make the connection on 3rd down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's 4th down. The Bruins send out the punt unit. He'll try to really get into this one. Working his way on the return up to the 40-yard line before he stopped. Maryland has the ball back and the Terrapin offense ready to go. That last drive was promising for a while, but you just can't mess it up at the end with the pick, Jesse.
No, you got to be able to finish.
There he goes! And he'll ramble to the 34 before he's finally knocked down.
That's a huge throw for the offense, but they're down by a ton. They're going to need a lot more of that, and it's not going to be easy considering the defense knows they're probably going to be throwing the ball every play here in the second half moving forward.
He might want another play. To the air, it's Washington. Here comes the heat. Nowhere to go with the ball, and down he goes at the 39.
That's a good example there of complementary defense. The DBs and linebackers are playing zone. They're playing their spaces, and they force the QB to have to hold the ball, try to work through his progressions. And then the pass rush, they win up front.
Looking to fire. Throws for the tight end. And man, oh man, he is in the dark tonight. His 4th interception. They make the tackle after the turnover, but hang on just a second. There's a flag on the field. Let's see if it stands. Out of the gun, the give to the back. And that's a very productive first down play and bringing up 2nd and 3.
It's got to feel good as an offense knowing that early in the drive you can turn around, hand it off, get a push up front, and go get positive yardage.
Finding an escape route. Oh, a lot of space. And how about that run? A huge gain and the slide at the end.
That's the danger as a defense when you're playing against this guy, because you know you're going to see the option. And if you don't have a player dedicated to pursuing and stopping him, he is going to burn you like he did right there. He has elite speed. You saw it on that option play.
Out of the gun, the inside handoff, looking for a crease. They pull him down after a 4-yard gain down to the 24.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. If you've got the lead in the 3rd quarter and you want to keep it, you got to bleed the clock. Best way to do that, run the football. And you're now seeing this offense call these run plays back to back. They are trying to be physical, and they're trying to stay on the field.
He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line.
Tackle on the play at the 15-yard line. First down for the offense.
And the Bruins are marching down the field.
Banner! Banner! Shield! Shield!
Quarterback run is part of their game plan. Great penetration by this defense, and they knock him down behind the line, a loss of 1. This drive facing a little adversity on 2nd and 11. To throw, it's Nelson. Gets it out quickly. And he'll step out of bounds after a very productive play.
Coming into this one, I thought this guy was going to be a monster. He was going to put up huge numbers. We know this is a big part of the offense week in, week out. The defense has done a great job clamping down on him. That is only his 2nd catch so far in this game.
Quick pass on the jet motion. And gang tackling on this dude is a good idea. They needed it, but he still got the first down.
And just went with something very easy, very reliable. Flip it forward, let your receiver do the rest. I only got to get a few yards. Nice job, nice execution. First down.
Looking for the end zone. Touchdown, Bruins. Hauled that baby in and then strolled into the end zone for the score. If these guys wanted to make a statement has been delivered.
It's your job to stop them. Oh, don't run the score up. Well, do something about it. The defense has to step up and make plays. Obviously, they're not willing to do that, so just keep running plays and keep scoring.
And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Fellas, take a gander at what's happening in this interesting battle in the Pac-12. Washington State is ahead right now, but the school that nearly saw Ryan Leaf win a Heisman back in the day still has some work to do. They're up by 12 over TCU. We'll keep you posted on a Pac-12 showdown that, not surprisingly, guys, is already trending.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. And his 5th interception of the game, a miracle they haven't pulled him yet. And he goes out of bounds at the 14-yard line.
And this guy's showing off his hands again, understanding where the football's going. He breaks on the football so quick. And guess what? He makes plays when he breaks on it. That's 2 interceptions here through 3 quarters of a football game.
UCLA will go back to work on offense. From the gun, the running back has it. He's dragged down at the 12 as they try to cash in on this red zone opportunity. It'll be second down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. They'll run it from the gun. And as they get him to the ground, clock running, looks as if time will expire here in the third. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. I guess if you're an optimist, the stage is set for a massive fourth quarter comeback. After swapping ends of the field, that gave them a little time to figure out how they'll open the final period here on third down. They're able to get him stopped just shy of the first down marker.
And that's why QBs love their tight ends so much, right? Especially when they're athletic, because they make short throws turn into long gains. Because of his ability after the catch, it's so unique and special. He is dominant in this offense.
And they'll send out the kicker to try a field goal. That thing would have hit a string in the middle of the uprights. Perfect. And that'll add 3 more to a lead that is already way out of hand. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here comes the Maryland offense back onto the field. Well, the good news about this drive, Jesse, it can't go worse than last time through a pick on the first play.
No, it certainly can't. I think one good way, David, to help your quarterback turn the page is just find him an easy completion here and let him get back into a rhythm.
Yeah, or find him an easy handoff. Just hand the football off, maybe get the ground game going, maybe jumpstart this offense a little bit.
He'll pull it on the read. Oh, it's a fumble. Defense covering it up and not letting the offense get it back. It's a turnover.
Listen, there's the athletic quarterbacks now that do the design runs. I got to make them pay. I got to physically hit them as hard as I can, as many opportunities as I get. They run a design quarterback run. Nice job being physical, forcing the fumble.
The coach still thinks he was right. The officials say he was not. The challenge is denied, and the timeout is gone. Here comes the offense onto the field again.
Let's go! Let's go!
The inside handoff. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
Well, with the defense trailing, they're trying to dictate to the offense now. Really nice blitz call that time, blowing the run play up for a huge loss. You're probably going to see that again. They're trying to find a way to create a takeaway, create negative plays, and get the ball back.
Going with the ground game left. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
It's going to be tough sledding for the offense here. They're trying to ice this game by running the football and bleeding the clock. They've got a pretty good lead here late in the game, but the defense knows the run's coming, right? So they're going to be loading the line of scrimmage, getting stops like what they just did. Be interesting to see what the offense does on this next one.
Quarterback gets past the marker. Oh, he's got some space. And he's brought down, but a flag is also down. That penalty cost them a third down conversion, and now they'll have to try it from a little farther away. They're facing a third down. Off the play fake. Deep shot for the end zone. And that ball was in harm's way, and he is lucky to get that one back. The Bruins will try to pin them back with the punt. You have a big lead in the fourth quarter. When you do that, the only explanation for it is you're trying to send a message by sticking in another touchdown.
And saying, listen, it's your job to stop us, and right now we're eating you alive. So I think there's some psychological warfare, right? There's some, I'm going to get in your head. There's some, I want to beat you on the recruiting trail and in the future, and, kind of take that, a little rub their nose in it.
And that's just the kind of game it's been for this quarterback in this offense. You got a great game plan all week long. You're watching it throughout practice. You think you're going to have a chance to light up the scoreboard, but they're just not able to hook up. You got to give this defense a ton of credit. They've done a great job in coverage. They've been breaking on passes. They've had their number, and that's why they're leading by as much as they are.
Finds just a bit of room. He'll pick up a couple to the 11. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. It'll be third and long. Looking for a man. It's Washington. It's complete on the right side. And the defense makes the immediate tackle, but he has enough for the first down. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Terrapins will have it 1st and 10. He lofts it high and deep down the left side. Oh, he dropped it. That deep ball was right on the money. You just have to make that catch.
Well, that incompletion really tells the story of this football game. If you don't score touchdowns, it's really hard to win games. They haven't found themselves in the end zone at all in this game. Throwing it, running it, they have been completely dominated.
Nice job by this junior quarterback to get it done on the ground.
And they're going to need a lot more of this to get back in this football game. They're trailing. They're trying to make plays. I like the decision-making of the young man, though. Don't force the football. We already got...
He lobs one high down the left side. And the DB right with him to knock it away.
Well, talking to the coaching staff coming into tonight, they thought they had to have success throwing the football if they were going to win this game. And one of the biggest reasons why I'd say they're losing right now is because this guy still hasn't thrown a touchdown pass. The defense has been ready for the deep shots. They're ready yet again here late in the game. Nice job forcing that incompletion.
Yeah, and this offense, man, it's been a struggle bus. And they haven't clicked yet. They haven't found what they're really, really good at. And I'll tell you this, it's in the fourth quarter, later in the game, obviously. They need to start airing this thing out. We got to get back in this football game because I don't know if y'all realize this, but we're down by a lot.
7th play of the drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Quarterback adjusting the pattern. On 3rd and long, doesn't need to take the check down. The sure hands, it's Manning. Just broke the tackle and still on his feet. Into enemy territory and out of bounds at the 41 after the good gain there. It's 1st and 10 for this offense from the 42. To the air, it's Washington. Unloads to the wideout. And he throws another interception. Didn't really get a chance to get started on that return, but he has set him up at the 41-yard line.
And that's kind of what this offense has done all day. They have struggled. They haven't gotten a rhythm. They haven't found a way to get points on the scoreboard. And late in this game, when your defense and your team really needed it the most, Palmer, they throw the INT.
And it's a microcosm, too, of just how dominant the defense has been. They've always been a step ahead. They've been the more physical side, and they've been making plays on the back end. That interception should seal this thing.
Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. On the ground, trying to pull the plug on this clock. Creating some space, getting just enough good blocking, and they've got it up to the 47-yard line.
And there's nothing more frustrating than when you get late in the game and you know they're running the football and you don't stop them. It's been that kind of day for this defense. They haven't played well. They're going to have to go to the well. They're going to have to figure some things out. Practice this week, I can promise you, will not be a lot of fun with these coaches.
Really nice job to convert that 3rd down, and they've got it at the 33.
Fresh legs, man, and it is showing. Of course, this team had the bye last week, and you're seeing it right now late in the game, running the football, imposing their will against the defense that looks tired. Of course, they had to play last week, and you're seeing that right now.
Set. Set. Black 14. Black 14. Get ready. Set. Hut. Set. Set. Get set. Hut. Red 18. Red 18.
Ugh.
153. Say hut. Here we go. Set. Hut. Let's go. Set. Black 18. Black 18. Set. Set. Blue 22. Set. All right. Set. Set. Blue 85. Set. Let's go. Red. Set. 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 Ready. Hut. Ready. Ready. Here we go. Set. 180. Set. Hut. Set. Set. Hut. Red 29. Say hut. Ready. Set. Set. Get ready. Set. Say hut. Set. Hut. Hey. Black 88. Black 88. Set. Black 14! Black 14!